opening day experience except for the loss?
Well, it was a great day. You know, we got out there, went to the ball game, went to Texas Live, and the kids played some games and such. You know, it was pretty good. It was packed, absolutely full. Um, I was disappointed, and I know there was a chance of rain, but I was disappointed that the roof was closed. It's the first time I've been to an opening day in a closed roof stadium, so that was different. No sunshine, you know.
When it was actually
it was
nice
very
and
nice
sunny.
outside. Right, that was the I guess the irony of it was earlier in the week the rain was forecast. It kept moving, you know. And I guess that's one of those danged if you do, danged if you don't things. You know, it did end up raining quite a bit here in Abilene that afternoon. It just did not rain where we were in Arlington.
Well, but at least there was a chance that it could. Now, I think the invention, you need to find a way to invent a lot faster closing door.
Right, it's like it takes too long.
Put a bigger motor on it.
Yeah, we're going to need to crank this up. Everybody, headphones, it's going to get loud. But again, the Rangers did lose. Again, they didn't play well against the Reds. We went Saturday night, only gave up 2 runs, but the problem was they couldn't get any after that, after the first one, first inning. And so, but then now the Mariners come to town. They sweep the Mariners, which are the Mariners as good? Not sure. Or is it? I mean, I know there's 162 games in the season, but almost like, and I guess the Reds are actually playing well. I don't know. How do you feel after that homestand? Of course, this weekend they head out to Wonderland and play the Monstars.
Yes, the Red Series obviously was a huge disappointment, losing, you know, your first 3 at home, but then turning that around and beating a division rival, the one that generally has been picked to be the American League West, I guess, preseason favorite, and they're not playing well. They're playing worse than they're like.
You think
most.
we're not? The Rangers aren't hitting the ball. The Mariners are really not hitting the ball.
Yes, Cal Raleigh has 1 home run after hitting 60 last year.
About 25 strikeouts.
Yes, so they're having a rough go of it. You can't be disappointed where the record is. That season they have a 9-win pace, which is pretty good. That's what I always have to remind myself when you're looking at a baseball season. You know, and you go to a ball game. There's always a chance you're going to lose. You know, so it's disappointing especially when you take kids to a Rangers game and the Rangers end up losing. But a good year means you're losing 55 to 65 games. So
it's a great year.
Right. You're like, it's really not that bad.
Yeah. So
we're really, really good.
Right. So you always have to put that perspective in. But if there's too much flashes of 2025 with the fact that the pitching staff is doing very, very well. I don't think there's much argument to just putting it out there that their starting rotation is. People talk about the rotations that say like the Mariners have, and I don't think it's better than ours.
I'm going to throw this out, and I'm assuming I'm correct on it, but I'm looking at ESPN.com and the standings and all that. RS runs scored.
Yes.
RA runs allowed.
Good.
There you go.
Okay, we're good. Hodge learned something.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes, and I'm done. If I ever figure out this war thing, I'll be really good. But so 7-5 leading the division have only outscored the Mariners. 44 runs scored. The Mariners have 40. How would you like to be the Astros? We scored 79 runs, but are in second place.
Well, again, it's so early in the season. You want to believe that the offense is going to come around. One, the Rangers ballpark now, it is, analytics tell you, the best pitching park in Major League Baseball. Nobody comes in there and hits a bunch of home runs, scores a bunch of runs. It just doesn't happen for whatever reason. I think they should take a look at what they're doing with the fences, do something to try to juice it up and get some runs scored. It's so weird watching Rangers baseball and one, believing or hoping your team scores 4 runs, and at the same time believing we're probably going to only give up 2 or 3.
Right. Yeah, it's so opposite
of everything you've grown up watching about that team, but it's fun. Like, it's still quality baseball. You look at some of the statistics, analytics tell you we're barreling balls at a really high rate right now.
Right.
I don't think that's resulted in a lot of runs scored, but I think as the season plays out, if they continue to do that, the hitting is going to come around. It's going to start being more productive, scoring more runs. And I agree with you. Right now, I think we have as good of a rotation as there is in baseball. The only worry you worry about is the health of that team. Because unlike the Mariners or Dodgers or some other teams, we have our two top pitchers are in their mid to late 30s. And with health,
in any pro sport except golf, that's old.
That's old.
Yes.
I mean, and that's really old.
And the run score thing is one of those things that is early in the season that can be very deceiving. You know, because the Astros have happened to have a few laugher games. Every team will have that game that's like, well,
slow pitch softball.
Yeah, just I think it was the Rockies that they played that the final score was both teams were in the teens. It was like a football score.
Who you're playing matters in that as well. The Rangers it only gets harder in the next month or so. They have a brutal opening stretch, 50 games of the season. But you like where they're at.
Yeah. Marlins 8-5, shocking people.
Well,
I mean, I know it's early, but still.
That's the thing is, like, anybody over a 12, 13 game stretch can go 8-5, 9-4. Like, it happens for every team in the league. So no, come back at 50 games in. Are they still leading that division? Yeah, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. And of course the Dodgers 9-3, no shocker on that. We got about 2 minutes. We got to talk about the Angels and Braves brawl. Anybody want to take that on how that kind of?
Well, it was very interesting because I was watching that game when it happened to just happened to be the game that I had, and apparently the Jorge Soler had been hit with the pitch earlier, so there was some animosity already brewing. But the funny thing about it, watching it live, was the pitch did not hit him. It really wasn't even terribly close, but it was high. The runner advanced to second base. There was a throw down to second. So the camera and the action moves, and then next thing I know, people are throwing haymakers. And like, it was very odd to watch. And watching then they played the replay and they showed everything that had gone on, and they exchanged words back and forth, and then somebody, I guess, said some magic word, because then it was on.
It was on, yeah. It just and it's funny, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Go ahead, Zach.
Well, the only thing I've never seen in a brawl before that I saw in that game, the pitcher swinging the ball at his head.
Yes.
Hey, you remember when Myles Garrett that was swinging the helmet? Yeah.
Yes.
Keep your helmet on in those fights, folks.
It's overhand swing, hit him on the helmet with the baseball.
Hey, fighters got to fight. Speaking of, a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about tradition in sports. Beating the next guy in the brawl is that a tradition in sports. Maybe it'll get in the top 10 when we do that a little bit later on in the show. That's our Lawrence Hall headline report again. Lawrence Hall, Abilene, online.com. Get your truck, new car, truck, or SUV. They'll get you taken care of. When we come back, we have a bracket winner, 2 national champions, and ironically, the sports split. We'll be back right after this. It's one of the things that I heard somebody say. Who would have thought that Indiana would win the football national championship and Michigan would win the basketball championship years ago? Indiana basketball school, and pretty good, period. It's just all they do is.
Sorry for interrupting.
All we do is win, win, win.
There's water somewhere.
Yes, the refrigerator is just straight that way. You got all that stuff entered in your spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get yesterday's yet, but
It seems like
beating just, you have to make sure you write down everybody's name exactly like it is on the other sheet, or it won't auto-generate.
Yeah.
And I got tired of writing Bryson DeChambeau.
I didn't pick him in that one, thank God. But unfortunately,
I picked wrong. Which is even worse. Suck.
You get down to 6 tier, and I'm just like, geez.
You're just.
Let's go.
I
Well, thought he
kind of does it other than he still gets invited to this.
Yeah. How old is he?
What tier was Couples in the last tier?
Mhm.
And up until 9, he was, or 15, or the 9 he got on 15. He was going to be a pretty good pick, and he still only shot over.
All thoughtful. He came back for sure, but Zach John had a pretty good day.
My problem was Cannon put one together, and I did not do very well. Where's NCAA men's? Oh,
It
it's
was,
right there.
it was a picking thing was like a homage to my grandpa who,
Love BJ.
yeah. Like,
The soul patch that he had
That's
was pretty comical.
my grandpa was an avid watcher with the old school Giants.
Yeah.
That entered the portal from college basketball. 3, I don't know if there were players from the union in portal. I'm like, where do you think you're really going to go? It's better.
No, it's not about winning.
Right.
It's about
And paid.
getting as much money as you can.
I think college basketball is the one that all that stuff is disjointed the most. I mean, football gets the most attention, but generally it looks like in football, yes, Indiana won a national championship off of just like getting
The right guys.
Yeah,
but they weren't even football.
no, that's just like they got guys that fit what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But in basketball, you can't build anything because you're like,
It's back to the drawing board every year.
yes, right.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack as we keep rolling here on April 10th, Friday the Masters underway. We'll get that going in a moment. You'd be looking at it on the old iPad anyway to see how that's going. May get Josh and Zach to do that. But again, we had our March Madness. Again, appreciate Tyler Cagle Law Firm, coming on board with sponsoring our bracket challenge. And we had a winner. And again, ESPN gave him a name. And thank goodness he remembered that number because it was a long number. But our winner was Johnny Hudson. So Johnny Hudson and I coached together. So we have a New Mexico, Josh. So our challenge, Tyler Cagle. Hopefully Johnny never needs Tyler Cagle, but Johnny Hudson, Coach Hudson, won our bracket challenge. So we'll get him the winnings and all the things. So it's good stuff. Couple of things Let's talk about the tournament, but then I want to talk about a hire that took place that may or may not roll into what I think could be Misty's question by Mullins. Gino, we'll talk with Gino, ladies first. Gino and Don Staley had a big confrontation. End of the game, South Carolina blew out UConn. Gino was having a very bad day. Didn't have a great interview with Holly Rowe, and then they had the dispute, didn't shake the hand, ended up having some apologies. He had to do a volume of apologies. He did one where Don Staley's name wasn't in it. Then he did one again saying, I didn't show class. But I think it's pretty interesting in a time of women's basketball, and I know Josh watched all of it.
Every minute.
But in a time where it was going back and forth for the most part, UConn, South Carolina, the fact that somebody like UCLA kind of reminds us that this portal thing is bringing more people to the table. And you have to add LSU and Baylor because of Kim Mulkey. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. UCLA dominated Texas and then dominated South Carolina.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. UCLA women's basketball has been they're a power. They've been a top 10 team for a while.
Yeah, but it's almost like finally, kind of, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat good, but never could beat Ric Flair. Eventually, he did win. It's kind of the way UCLA.
It certainly opens up. I mean, not only women's college basketball, but every college sport. The amount of teams that can win a title now is drastically bigger than it's ever been.
Good or bad? Because we're going to roll into the guys.
Yeah, well, I think it's a mixed bag. I mean, there is good about parity, about having more people at the table, where there's not just a dominant force that just rolls through. I like. What I don't like and then we've talked about it a little off air, I think basketball is the where this is the worst in the college sports. There's no continuity. There's like, as a fan of a particular school, it's like a new roster every year. You're not watching this guy who's
graduation's happening.
Yeah, you're not watching this guy who's a freshman that's like, oh, he's good. Maybe next year he'll kind of contribute. And nope, he's gone. So it's just I don't like that. It's hard. You talk about just being a fan, watching a team. You watch your favorite team. You have your favorite players. The kids get a jersey. All of that.
Don't hold on to those things.
Don't waste your money. It's a one and done.
The buy-in is a lot harder now,
yes.
Year to year. You can't get behind those guys that you've watched for a few years and feel like, man, these are my guys. One more year and we're going to have a chance here.
Yeah.
Because the next year it's a new set of guys, and maybe they figure it out and gel and can put it together. But and at the same time, I do like that there are more teams that have opportunities to win.
Right. Well, in our
the
bracket,
players themselves. Sure. I mean, you don't just get stuck in a situation that you went to this school and it's not working out. The playing style doesn't fit your game. There's a guy in front of you that's gonna always keep you on the bench. You can rectify that situation. So I like that for the player, but it's just
well, and I just wonder now, the alumni obviously have more ability to contribute, because every college, I don't care which college you're at, have rich alumni. And now they can help contribute to that.
But it also gives them maybe an unreasonable amount of power.
Oh, 100%.
So
yes,
they've always had power. They've always had the sway. There's donation, but now they're directly to.
Well, it gives them the idea that their opinion on anything other than getting of their money matters to the program.
Right. It's no longer, I want my name on whatever. I want that kid coming here. I want this happening. I want this special
this
treatment.
coach needs to go.
Right. But I think I like it for the fact that, yes, they can move around, doesn't work out, because if you're at a job, you can put your resume out there and find somewhere else to go.
Right.
If it's not a fit for you, they hire a new person over you and you're like, no, this ain't going to jive. So those happen. But you're not going to, I don't know if we'll ever see a kid. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to throw her name out there. Will Aaliyah Chavez stay 4 years at Oklahoma before she goes to the WNBA? Or will somebody like South Carolina, or will she have you know what, will come tech LeBron does with Cleveland? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, I'm okay with it in the fact that they should get paid a little bit, but I don't think it needs to be going buck wild like it is. When you see, and I don't remember the guy's name, but one of the guards for Michigan said signed a new deal to agree to come back. It's like we're franchise tagging them, and I think eventually they'll need a collective bargaining agreement.
No, everybody's a free agent every year. It's like everybody.
I think there needs to be a 2-year deal. All right, and I want to get to, and we may roll it into Misty's bag. 69-63, great win for Michigan. But, dadgummit, you just said something. What did you just say that triggered?
Everyone's a free agent every year?
No, dadgummit.
Well, I don't know.
That was an ugly game of college basketball.
It was not very.
It was not pleasing to watch.
It was a letdown after what was a pretty good tournament. I mean, it was.
Those teams to be there. The game itself is a really tough watch. Nobody can make a basket. It doesn't do the sport any favors that that's how it ended.
How many of you thought UConn was about to win it? Because it looked like the Duke game. Like, oh, okay, here they're about to start coming back. Maybe this is about to happen.
Oh, they kept it a lot closer than I thought they would, and based off their track record, yeah, you could absolutely see that happening. And Michigan was they were doing everything they could to give them the opportunity to.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed. It was after everybody's a free agent. You said something, and I was about to say something with it.
Well, just turn it off the radio. We're done.
No, we'll come back to it. Lord, I need that statement or that thought, but to come back. But you start looking at this, like Dan Hurley had a chance to make history and all that, but will Michigan be a one and done, or will there ever be a powerhouse again?
Well, you have to build it every year. I mean,
a powerhouse or a dynasty, because those are two different things.
Well, I mean, the fact that, UConn won back-to-back a couple years ago. Are we going to see any more back-to-backs, or because ability in across ever said back-to-back in college basketball? If there's around like that on the too, but will we see another back-to-back?
I would say yes, just because the chances are that it will happen. I think it will be more difficult.
The Dukes and the Kentucky world still exist, and they are there. Say what you want about them. I'd love to see them lose, but they are in the top 8 almost year in, year out. At some point, they're going to figure it out.
Even when, like, you look at their team and they lose, obviously they lose like the best player in college basketball every year, but then have the best player in college basketball every year. So that's something that yes, those teams are still going to be in the mix. And that's what and we've talked about this a lot on the show. In my personal opinion, that's really all you can hope for as a fan of a team, is just to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Like, it turns to luck. Duke losing that game to UConn, it took Duke making a very poor play on offense where they should have been able to seal the game. And then it took, you shoot the ball from that far.
It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but it was, again, the tournament was interesting on when you mentioned, Zach, how many people thought could win. yes, there was a lot of Arizona, a lot of Duke, but we had people thinking Michigan was going to win. We had some that had
Houston, Florida.
Houston.
Yeah,
There was a number of people that thought they could actually win that tournament. But Michigan wins 69-63 in the Big Ten, wins another national championship, and it wasn't an SEC team. So there you go. Hey, when we come back, a group of folks that have been giving back a long time and now giving back to a new charity that continues to do a great all throughout the community. So when we come back, our Big Country Electric My Town segment with the guys talking about the Bilbo. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. I was going to ask.
I heard you vapor a lot over there.
I got the old look away disease, and it went with it.
No, Josh, what did you say?
I can't be held accountable for what I say. I was still stressed. I was trying to remember what he said.
I gotta be honest, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
You had breakfast on your mind.
That's right. Get this segment over with and I can finish.
Yeah, y'all can just pop up there, old school. Bilbo May 1st and 2nd, right?
That's it. Yeah.
How have you been?
Good, you?
Good.
I'm good. All right.
Thanks for finding a spot for us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, let's do it to
You got this? Let's see this one. You want me to send it to you?
No,
You know what the heart?
pretty much. What do you need?
I just had it here just in case.
I think my job is just to sit here and look pretty.
Well, it'll be a long day.
We're struggling a minute. What do you think, Rory can go back to back?
Good start, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sure looks solid. Yeah.
Oh, Freddie. If he doesn't have 15,
You can say that a lot.
Yeah, I know, Robert McIntyre, he made it 9.
yeah, and a finger. Gave everybody a finger.
Why did he do that?
You're not going to do that.
Harassing him?
The ball.
Oh.
Screw you and the horse you ran on.
Well, every bad shot I've ever hit, it was always the ball's fault. It's never the Cowboys, it's always the road.
It's just not long enough.
And that's something, they make 10-foot charger cords, now they ain't long enough.
You know, the wedding rehearsal tonight and wedding tomorrow.
Yeah, what tonight?
Grandson's getting married. Bandy's oldest son. There's a lot to it. These two.
In hour number 1, we're glad that you're with us. When you hear that, we normally highlight a local player, coach, or program, but today our Big Country Electric My Town segment, again, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative, taking care of their members each and every day out of Roby, Snyder, and Stanford. We'll say this week is Lineman Appreciation Week or day, be tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, next week. So I want to, and again, that's not offensive, electric lineman. So shout out to those folks that power on and in some pretty dangerous settings. And so we're not highlighting. Well, there are probably some players. Who knows? There are probably some players. They're probably a program and everything. So we'll bring them in. But joining us, talking about the Bilbo again, a tournament that's been going on a long time. I'll let them tell you how long. But joining us in studio, Ken Walker and Benny Kilpatrick. These guys have helped raise a lot of money for people across the big country. Appreciate you guys coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Benny, talk about it. You've been connected with this thing probably what we would call from the get-go.
Yeah.
As far as the Bilbo goes. Talk about how it kind of got started, and then we'll get to where we are today.
Okay, well, this will be the 45th annual Bilbo Golf Classic. And how it got started was almost as a joke 45 years ago. Oil field people that did not play golf very well, but decided to have a little tournament. And I think that first year there might have been 20 or 30 players, and had a pretty good time, or they told everybody they had a good time. So we're gonna, as it went on, it grew and grew. The next year, a few more. Well, in about the third or fourth year, we picked up the Ben Ritchie Boys Ranch. And by that time, it had grown to a 2-day tournament and got bigger and bigger. And I think the format has a lot to do with that.
And this is the 45th?
45th, right here, yeah. And I think the format, it's a unique format, and we're real proud of it.
It is. It's an ABCD draw. It's not, bring 4 ringers. It's not bring 4 ringers, and go shoot a 51 and walk away.
Right.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I wouldn't swear to this, but I think it's the only ABCD draw tournament left around as far as the charity is concerned.
Yeah, and for what, if you're trying to figure out what does ABC draw mean, it means that a lot of tournaments you enter, if it's a scramble, the normal charity golf tournament is you get 4 and you just go play and it doesn't matter, and you pick whoever you want to with you. Well, here you submit a handicap and then you get drawn either the A player. Again, for those that don't understand that, A players are your better players and all the way down to your D players. And you get paired with somebody and you go compete in a scramble format. But as Benny mentioned, it is a little different because you're having to, not necessarily hold up to your letter, but you're competing in a way that, one, there's no cheating because you're playing with your other co-partners right on the same hole.
Right.
Yeah. And it's all relevant because everybody's got an A golfer and every team's got a D golfer. And I can tell you this, 2 things I love about it is I've been a part of this on the committee for 17 years now, and man, I've met some great people. A lot of people don't, kind of shy away from it because, well, I want to play with my buddies. Well, man, I've met a lot of new buddies.
Absolutely.
And the other cool thing about this is, I'll tell you who wins this tournament. It's not the A players; it's the C and D players.
Sure. Yeah. And
So
using 2 drives from
Yeah.
everybody. That's another unique rule here is that everybody, instead of just relying on that A player and riding
Right.
him all day,
Yep.
everybody.
And you got to have some strategic thought process in that, because if you've got somebody that's not a great driver,
Mhm.
but they get you in a spot 1 that's well enough to hit your next shot, then you can say, all right, tell you what, we can at least get one of yours out of the way. We may be going from 125 or 130 yard shot to 150 or 160 yard shot, but it's at least a full iron and you get that drive out of the way. Because there have been teams that had to get a drive in, and I don't care who you are. We've seen it on tour. Pressure's pressure, and some live up to it, and some need to push away from it.
It is.
Yeah.
It gets a little hot.
Yeah.
Funny story though. So 17 years I've been playing in the tournament. I've only won it 1 year, and actually it was the year that I had Bill Reed was drawn on my team. But we had this sweet little old lady that was our deep player, and we got to our very last hole, and it was the par 3, number 17, and I literally had her hit a putter off of the tee box. And I think that was 160-yard par 3. I think we had 120 left.
Right. But again, it was a safe shot, and then you hope you get up and down for par.
Yes.
And so, but it's been around for 45 years, and you heard Bill Reed, and of course the Reed and the Kilpatrick families have kind of been a part of this, as you mentioned, Benny, from day one,
Right.
and it's grown to now not only most well-known tournament in town, to the money that's been given back to local charities is unbelievable. And I don't want to put them on the spot on knowing the dollar amount that's given, unless you know it.
It's roughly $2.5 million in 45 years.
Yeah, and so giving that back, and again, it's a tournament where you enter, you or your company have entered, and you get teams and players in it, but also the money still goes to Camp Able this year, correct?
Camp Able
But-
and their scholarships.
And so Camp Able and scholarships, but it's an opportunity for you as a player also. You're not walking away with a trophy that, you can win some cash prize as well.
It is a cash prize. What's the payback?
Prize.
Is it-
Oh, it's gonna pay you $1,200-$1,500 a man. Then we have a little players auction that I've seen it in years past pay anywhere from, 12 to 15,000. So
Right.
And that's something we need to talk about is on Friday night.
Yeah.
We have a players auction with.
So let's talk about that. So the tournament is May 1st and 2nd.
Right.
What all goes with it? Whether you want to kick it off with a party and
Yeah, so it all kicks off Friday morning. We have our 2-man, and depending on what level of sponsorship you come at, and all that's available online.